Hey, sixth graders, welcome to another exciting episode of ELA with Mr. Slaby. It's Thursday, March 11th. So today, got some work to do. This is my crew at home watching this. The rest of the students are in class with me. I want to start out by quickly reviewing the fact versus opinion stuff that we worked on for Tuesday. Here's what I noticed is that in terms of facts, you are still a little foggy on fact and opinion. And I'm going to be very clear. Actually, you have facts down better than opinion. That's probably a good thing. Remind you that facts are provable. You can measure them. You can provide evidence. Opinion, you can't. There's weird, like loaded language like bad, or dangerous. And we made a list right here of words that actually are really kind of loaded. They have this idea of, words like cool, dangerous, bad, awesome, every. These are hard to measure, right? What is most, right? Most could be 51 out of 100. That's one more than half. That's most, but it's not really most, right? So that's loaded language. It can't be measured. So the thing is that sometimes loaded language is fact. And I saw in your work, this is what I mean. So for instance, 5 is less than 1,225. That's factual. We can measure that, right? We can look at 5 things in 1,000. That's easy. But actually, factually, you can say that 1,225 is more than 5. So even though we put more kind of over here, I'll put it even in here, in our loaded language, even though we did that, doesn't mean it's still not a fact, right? Language is weird that way. It can be almost everything. We have to watch out for that. So more is still true and factual because 1,225 is more. It's exactly 1,220 more, but we don't have to say that. Here's another. My birthday is 10/22 and my eldest daughter's is 11/12. Okay, so factually, her birthday is after mine, right? To turn that into an opinion, it'd have to be something like her birthday is way after mine. That's pretty opiniony because like way is just describing like a really long time. It's not that long, right? Or is it? Is 20 days a long time? That's an opinion word. So the thing about that is it can still be after, and that is a fact, even if it's not specific. It's not saying 20 days. I want to make sure that we understand that. Okay. So when we're talking about opinion, the loaded language, we got to like something that literally can't be technically true. Okay. So today we're moving into like text structures, all right? As not like you've been analyzing and practicing writing them and looking at them in our writing or in our readings. Now we're going to change a little bit and look at like the choices one makes. So for instance, as a writer, you have to consider 2 things that we're going to practice today when you decide whether you're going to write with description, with cause and effect, with compare contrast, with problem solution, or sequential. Number 1, consider who you're writing to. And then number 2, consider the nature of the information. So we're going to start with number 1 first, okay? So activity number 1 is related to the audience. So what I'm going to do is in your reader's notebooks, I want you to make just a short list of 1 through 5. You don't need any space because you aren't going to write much. And what I'm going to have you do is go through the next slides and start and stop for each slide so you can write down the text structure you think best suits the reader profile. Okay? So write 1 through 5. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you this, right? And this is a person. It's a random person. And these are the bullet points that describe who they are. So reader audience profiles, number 1. This person loves dates and history, really enjoys finding out when things happened, especially things that they didn't know happened, likes information in quick bits and shorter amounts of writing. So your job is to pick from this list sequential, description, cause effect, problem solution, compare contrast, and in your notes, write down, fill in this blank, the text structure of which one of these might be best suited for this person. Okay? So at this point, I would stop this video. I would think for a few moments, ponder, and then write down your guess, your hypothesis. Okay? Okay? This is number 2. So I'd stop the video here and write down your guess. This is profile 3. So stop the video here, think about it, and write down your guess. This is profile number 4. I would stop the video here, read the bullet points, decide which description or which text structure you think best fits this person. And profile 5, I'd stop the video here, read the bullet points, fill in the blank with which text structure you think best fits this person. Okay. Now, if we went through this, I would say this person, because they love history and dates and short information, I'd put sequential. This person, they wants to fix things. They sense that there's right and wrong, and they like to work through tough issues. This person probably likes to solve problems. So they like to read about how there's a problem and someone solved it. This person really likes to think about why things happen. Like she likes to dig in, or they like to dig in with information that shows like this happened and then this happened after. And they believe everything happens for a reason. This person's probably cause and effect. They like that stuff. This person, they like to make connections between things. So they watch a movie and they compare it to another movie. They read a book and compare it to another book. They like a lot of different experiences. So they have to have a lot to compare and contrast. This person probably likes to have that. And then this one loves to just stockpile knowledge. They like massive amounts of information. They want more. They want more. They want a lot of information. That's probably a description person, because you get a lot of information, right? So that's what we did in class. The other thing I want to talk about is this, that now we've talked about who we're writing to. The next part is the nature of the information, right? And everything has all of this, right? Every topic has history over time. That's sequential. Has similarity or an opposite. That's compare contrast. Has a definition. It has a description of what it is. It has a purpose for being. There's a reason why bottles came around. It solved a problem. And then it has an impact. Remote controls have impacted us. Maybe we're lazier. I don't know. So for instance, like computers, right? Think about this, right? History over time. In 1936, the Turing machine kind of became our modern idea of a computer. 1976, Apple starts. 2001, the Apple OS comes out, right? There's a history, there's a timeline. Similarity, calculators, abacus, the human brain. These are all things that are like computers, and you can study them and how they work. Definition, what is it? Here's the definition of a computer. You can look it up. It has parts and things. And its purpose for being, it's about speeding us up. Calculating things, making ideas come faster. The only reason the vaccine actually happened so fast is computers allowed us to think that fast and provide models. And then impact. What has it done? It sped up our science, right? Vaccines happen because computers did that. And maybe it's connected us more than ever globally. And maybe that's a good thing, and maybe that's a bad thing. So it has effects on us. So that's cause and effect, right? Same thing with Easter, right? I can go through it, right? Easter, it's coming up. It's a Christian holiday that's coming up. We got all history. We have literally dates. Look at 1930s is when jelly beans first appeared in Easter baskets. But it's been around for thousands of years. It has a similarity or an opposite, right? You can compare Easter to Christmas, right? They're both Christian. Easter is a resurrection. Christmas is the birth. So there's a different story for each, but they both talk about the same religious figure. Definition, it is the celebration of the death and resurrection of Jesus Christ. Purpose of being, Jesus' battle with Satan is the central work of Christ. So here's the thing. Why does Easter exist? To celebrate this Christian holiday's main figure and their work to battle for good versus evil. And lastly, the impact. What has Easter done? Parades, holy ceremonies. It's a really holy day for people who are Christian. It created an Easter bunny and a candy industry. Think about that, especially jelly beans and Peeps, right? None of that happens without Easter. So your job now is, I've got 3 slides again, and I want you to clear some writing space because you're going to free write. You're going to start and stop for each slide so you can spend about 10 minutes writing all you can about each topic. You may and might have to do some research on the internet for a few of these things. So here's what I mean. This is the first slide. I want you to write everything you can on what you know about sleep, or even what you might have to look up. So I want you to have information that is sequential, history, just a little bit, not a ton. Similarity or an opposite. What does the sleep process like, right? Sleep is a biological process. You can compare it to digestion, or you can compare it to thinking, or sleep is the opposite of waking time, right? So what does that look like? I want you to describe what it is. What is sleep? You might have to look that up. And purpose for being, why do we have sleep? And then lastly, impact. What does sleep cause? Like what results from sleep, good sleep or bad sleep? Okay. And do the same thing with school. And do the same thing with Minnesota history as much as you can. There's no right answers here. I just want you to try to have information that fits every one of these categories for every one of these. So you're just going to do some digging. I don't want you to spend more than a half an hour on this whole thing. All right. Lastly, your work for today. I want to see your writing. So take a picture of everything you've done, your free write and your 1 through 5, and submit it as today's assignment. And then if you have time left over, read for fun. All right, everyone, good lesson today. Hopefully it will you'll enjoy it. It's kind of interesting, and we'll see you tomorrow.